I picked up a new truck that's going to function as the foundation for my truck camper. It's going to be a truck bed camper with the bed, like the main bed in the camper hanging over the cab of the truck, so they call that a cab over. There's all kinds of names for them. They call them slide-in campers, they call them truck campers, they call them cab over campers, or over cab, sorry. And so there's a bunch of different names for them. I just call them truck campers. So I picked up this truck. This is going to function as the foundation for the project. So I'll let you know right away. I paid $2,900 for the truck. After getting it here from Anaconda, Montana, which is about 15 hours away, doing the title transfer and everything like that, I have a total of about $3,300 invested into the truck. It's not perfect. It's in really good shape, but it's not perfect. It doesn't go in reverse, but I'm pretty sure I've kind of narrowed it down to just a solenoid that's up on the valve body. So I'm going to be fixing that soon here. So it's kind of a cool truck. It's a Nissan Titan. It's 2012. It's a crew cab, and it's got the long bed. So it's kind of a rare truck. It's a 7-foot 3-inch bed. It doesn't have like any rust on it at all because it came from Montana. So you can look in the wheel well. Let's see. And it looks pretty good. Not bad. I don't see any like, you know, rusted out holes, things like that. If you look under here, the rockers and the underside of the truck looks really clean, which is impossible to find in the upper Midwest. So that's why I bought a vehicle that was so far away. It also came with these Kumo Road Venture AT52s. So they're like an AT3 tire. They are cold weather rated, and they are pretty new. So you can see there's still pretty good tread in there. The truck has some cool things, and that's this bull bar up here, which I absolutely love. Gives it kind of that off-roady feel, which is one thing that I'm going to be going for. I got plans for this truck. I'll go over those in a minute here. It's not perfect. Aside from the reverse problem, it has a dent on the door here. It doesn't look like anything around the door is dented on the cab, just the door. And then there's a little bit of damage on the bed here, but that's fine. You can see there's a good dent there. It also has a bed liner in it, so that's nice. Some weird things is this plastic piece that's on the tailgate with the handle is held in with these little screws everywhere, so it's a little janky. I had a Frontier a little while last year. I had it, sold it ultimately to get this. It also had this plastic piece and it ended up breaking too. It's not a good design. This handle's a little janky. The door, you can see there's like a little gap over here. It's a little janky when it comes to closing. Got to finagle this little latch in there to get it to latch. So it's not perfect, but it's really good. Another cool thing about these trucks is it has these rolling down rear windows. So they scroll down just like the side windows do. And it's really big, which is a cool feature. A lot of guys, I guess, they swap those into their Silverados and stuff like that because they just like that feature. I should tell you how I got this truck because, like I said, it came from 15 hours away, and we just had a baby. So we have a 5-week-old baby right now. It's our second child, and I bought it the same week. I bought it 2 or 3 days. No, I bought it on a Sunday, and our baby was born that Thursday. So kind of seems like some poor decision making on my behalf, but it's just kind of cool how it all worked out. So it was on Marketplace. I was looking kind of nationwide because I wanted a crew cab and a long bed. I wanted a Titan mostly because they're cheap, but also because they're pretty solid trucks for what you're getting. They have a few little problems that you can do, little things to mitigate that and make more reliable in the long run. So if you do those things, like I think they're about as reliable as a Toyota. My Frontier that I had was super solid, and it had little things too, but like mechanically, like it always started, always ran, everything always worked. And it was just such a great vehicle. So I had a good experience with the Frontier. So I hope I have a good experience with the Titan as well. So that's kind of why I decided on the Titan. I really wanted a long bed, which is, they call it a unicorn in the Facebook group for this truck. They say that the crew cab long bed is the hard one to find, and so that's why I was willing to kind of venture out and find a nice one that was rust free. and the kind of the overall package that I was looking for. So it is 4-wheel drive. And so I found it on Marketplace. I called the guy and talked to him about it. And I was like, look, man, I'm from the upper Midwest. You're like 15 hours away. Is there any way that I could send you money and have you hold it for me so that I can come and pick it up after my baby's born? And we're like settled in and stuff. So like maybe, 2 or 3 weeks. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Somebody's coming on Monday to come and pick it up. And I was talking to him on a Saturday. So in 2 days, somebody was going to come by it. I decided I was going to make a legitimate effort. So I started calling around. I got family kind of spread out throughout the Midwest and out into Montana. So I contacted a few people. Nobody's coming through for me. And I was starting to get kind of anxious about the whole thing, stressing out about it a little bit. And so me being a man of faith, I just kind of stopped. And I was like, you know what, God, if you want us to have this truck, if this is a good truck for our family and it's going to be a good fit for us, then would you just make it easy, make a way? Because right now it kind of seems like impossible. And if you don't want us to have the truck, if it's not a good fit, if this is something that I should just pass on, then just make it really hard and I'll forget about it, So that night, my cousin texted me back. This was in Anaconda, Montana. And so she texted me back. I was like, how far are you from Anaconda, Montana? And she's like, about 2.5 hours. And I was like, well, if I paid you to go get it for me, would you do that? She called me and she's like, so we're actually driving to Anaconda tomorrow to meet my mom and pick up my brother. And I was like, no way. And she's like, so absolutely, we can go look at it for you. So I gave them the guy's number. They contacted him, set up a time to go look at it on Sunday afternoon. I just so happened to have almost the exact amount of cash. I was $120 short. So I just pulled that from the ATM and I wired them money through Western Union. And they went out there, and as they're driving out there, my cousin's husband calls me and he's like asking me about the truck. He's like, yeah, so I got the same exact truck. I was like, no way, really? He's like, yeah, it's a crew cab, it's a long bed. He's like, it's the exact same thing. And he's also a DIYer, so he knows his way around the truck. So he's a good person to go look at it for me. And they went and looked at it. They said it was a nice truck. And so they bought it for me. And after they bought it, they call me and they're like, so what's your plan for getting this thing back? And I was like, well, I was going to, come out there when I have some time and just drive it home. And he's like, yeah, you could do that. Or he's like, we're going on a trip to Ohio here pretty quick. In about 2 weeks. So how about we just drive it to you on our way to Ohio? And I was like, dude, that would be the coolest thing ever. And so it ended up all happening just like that. And it was just really cool because, you pray about something and sometimes it just kind of seems like falls on deaf ears. But like to see something that was like so obvious, so easy, all I had to do, I hardly even left my house. I went to, a mile away to wire some money to these guys, had the right amount of money on me and everything. So it's kind of cool how it all worked out. And they drove it all the way here. So 15 hours all the way here, it did it. And that stretch across North Dakota is nasty. It's windy. There's lots of long hills and things like that. So it just kind of speaks to the longevity of the vehicle too, the reliability. So it made it through there without breaking a sweat. And here it sits in my driveway. And it's stuck here right now because it doesn't go in reverse. Like I said, I think there's a solenoid problem that I'm going to be getting at here pretty quick. So it's just kind of stuck here until I fix it. So yeah, that's the story of the truck. The plan for the truck is going to be kind of interesting. So one thing that I want to do that I make sure I do is rust proof it. So I'm going to take the bed off. I'm going to access as much of the cab as I can in the frame, and I'm going to coat it. I'm also, because there's no rust on it already, I'm going to rhino line some of the edges, like around the wheel wells and the rocker panels, things like that, because I drive on a lot of gravel. Will be driven in the winter as well. So just to prevent rust from developing over time, those are some preventative measures. I'm also going to take some of the other preventative measures for maintenance, like upgrade the transmission cooler or the radiator. They're kind of one and the same, so I'll see how I go about that. I'm thinking I might just do an external transmission cooler because that tends to fail on these things. And then for the bed, this is also going to be a big part of the project here, is I'm going to be removing the bed, and I am pretty set on building a flatbed. It's also going to be DIY, so I'm going to be welding it myself, which is not my strong suit, but I'm sure by the time I'm done welding a flatbed, my skills might have developed significantly. I do have a welder. It's just a MIG welder. Came up with plans for it already. I've been playing around with CAD. I'm going to try to draw all this stuff up in CAD first so that I can estimate materials costs and things like that and just have really accurate measurements for what I'm trying to accomplish. You know, some of the fun stuff, I might do like a rack on the roof that can hold some weight, maybe put some lights up there. I want to do like a winch setup eventually. That's kind of on the back burner probably until the camper's done because that stuff gets expensive. And then also probably a lift in it, just a small lift, like a 3-inch lift maybe. For the rear, because I'm going to be getting really close to my payload capacity on this thing, I am going to maybe do some leaf spring upgrades and some airbags in the back so that it's a nice stable platform as I'm driving down the road. And then for the bed, you're like, okay, well, you're going to be removing the bed. Like, maybe what are you going to do with that? I have seen people that do this kind of stuff, and they put a flatbed on their truck, and then they put the original bed on just like a trailer frame, and then pull it behind the truck. So it never really goes anywhere. You're still pulling it around. So I think that's something I'd be interested in doing. It would just complete the look of the project. So that would be, that would be the last thing that I would do, though, because I want to get the rest of the project done first before I start worrying about that. There's not too much else to say about it. That's how I got the truck. That's the platform that I'm going to be using, and those are my plans for it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get under this thing and remove the valve body and see if we can fix that reverse problem. And first, just get it as a usable vehicle. So we'll do that in the next video.